In the legendary film Rashomon, we discover that the truth is never simple. Each perspective reveals a different story. What you're about to hear is a true Rashomon tale from Hollywood's darkest corners. Which version do you believe? The tragic death of actress Natalie Wood has remained one of Hollywood's most enduring mysteries. On a cold November night in 1981, Wood, her husband Robert Wagner, actor Christopher Walken, and the yacht's captain Dennis Davern were on board Wagner's yacht, the Splendour, off the coast of Catalina Island. By the next morning, Natalie Wood was dead, her body found floating in the water. The cause of her death was initially ruled as accidental drowning, but over the years, various theories have emerged, casting doubt on that original finding. Was her death a tragic accident, or was there something more sinister at play? Let's look at the conflicting accounts, beginning with the original theory. Theory 1. Accidental drowning, the original finding. In the initial investigation, the prevailing theory was that Natalie Wood's death was a tragic accident. According to this version, Wood, known to have had a lifelong fear of water, slipped and fell into the water while trying to secure a dinghy. The small boat was reportedly banging against the side of the yacht, causing a disturbance, and it's believed that Wood, possibly after drinking, tried to secure it. In this scenario, her fall was unintentional, and the cold waters of the Pacific, along with her heavy jacket and thick nightgown, weighed her down, leading to her drowning. The Los Angeles County Coroner's Office initially concluded that there was no sign of foul play. The official report noted that Wood had consumed alcohol, which may have impaired her judgment, leading to her fatal misstep. For years, this explanation was accepted by many. Wood had slipped, fallen into the water, and tragically drowned. But not everyone was satisfied with this version of events. Theory 2. Foul play. Robert Wagner's involvement. One of the most persistent theories surrounding Natalie Wood's death points a finger at her husband, Robert Wagner. According to some accounts, Wagner and Wood had been arguing on the night she died. Witnesses on a nearby boat reported hearing raised voices coming from the Splendour, followed by an eerie silence. Wagner himself has acknowledged that he and Wood had an argument that evening, supposedly over her close relationship with Walken, who was also on board. But he has consistently denied any involvement in her death. However, suspicion continues to swirl around Wagner, partly due to his behavior after Wood went missing. Captain Dennis Davern, who had been with Wagner and Wood on the Splendour that night, would later allege that Wagner discouraged efforts to search for Wood when it was discovered she was missing. Instead of raising an immediate alarm, Wagner reportedly suggested that she may have taken the dinghy to shore. Davern's later statements cast doubt on Wagner's actions, suggesting a cover-up. Could Wagner's temper have boiled over that night, leading to an altercation that ended in tragedy? Some believe that Wagner's actions after Wood's disappearance suggest more than a tragic accident, that something darker occurred on that yacht. Theory 3. Christopher Walken's involvement. Another intriguing theory involves Christopher Walken, who was a guest on the yacht and a close friend of Wood's at the time. Walken, like Wagner, was an A-list actor, and his presence on the Splendour that night has fueled speculation. Some rumors suggest that the tension on the boat was due to jealousy. Wagner may have suspected that Walken and Wood were becoming too close. According to these theories, a confrontation between Wagner and Walken may have taken place that night, possibly escalating to violence. In this version of events, Wood's death may have been an unintentional result of a heated argument between the two men, with Wood caught in the middle. Some even speculate that Wood may have tried to intervene and somehow ended up in the water. Walken, however, has always denied any involvement. He has remained tight-lipped about the events of that night, claiming in interviews that he went to bed early and was not aware of what happened until the next morning. Nonetheless, his presence and the ongoing silence about the true nature of that night continue to feed conspiracy theories. Theory 4. Cover-up and inconsistent testimonies. Perhaps one of the most damning accusations comes from Dennis Davern, the captain of the yacht. Initially, Davern's story aligned with the official finding of accidental drowning, but years later, he changed his tune. In a shocking twist, Davern began to suggest that a cover-up had taken place on board the Splendour that night. According to Davern, Wagner discouraged anyone from calling for help immediately after it was discovered that Wood was missing. He also claimed that Wagner and Wood had been fighting before her disappearance, and that Wagner's decision to delay the search may have cost Wood her life. Davern's revised testimony led to the reopening of the investigation in 2011. While his claims have been disputed by Wagner and others, they have added yet another layer of suspicion to the case, making it hard to separate fact from fiction. Theory 5. Unresolved circumstances. The reopened investigation. In 2011, the case of Natalie Wood's death was reopened after nearly 30 years. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department revisited the circumstances surrounding her drowning, prompted by Davern's revised account and public pressure to look more closely at the case. In 2012, the coroner's office changed the cause of death from accidental drowning to drowning and other undetermined factors. One of the key findings during the reopened investigation was the discovery of fresh bruises on Wood's body, which had gone unexplained in the original report. These bruises led to speculation that Wood may have been involved in a struggle before she fell into the water. However, the investigation failed to provide definitive answers, and no new charges were filed. The case remains unsolved, with many questions left unanswered. Was it a tragic accident, or was foul play involved? Did the events of that night involve jealousy, anger, and violence? Or was it simply a series of unfortunate circumstances that led to Natalie Wood's untimely death? In the end, much like the film Rashomon, the truth remains elusive, with each perspective telling a different version of the same story. Which version do you believe?